Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 17th of December 2017 for another episode, and we are going to jump straight into it this week with a significant number of releases for the X-Plane world this week. So we're going to kickstart off with the release of the of Paro International Airport in Bhutan. Excuse me. Oh dear, my voice cracking a bit there. So this comes from the well-known, renowned X-Plane designer Cami DeBellis. It's come through as an incredibly highly detailed rendition of the airport from the land of the Thunder Dragon, a local legend. Bhutan's just an incredibly beautiful, remote part of the world, and this airport really captures the sense of the scenery of that area as well. Now, coming through is incredibly highly detailed, as the airport appears at the beginning of 2016. And this one is fully compatible with X-Plane 11 and as well as X-Plane 10 as well. Come through with a full rendition with accurate 3D modeling of all the major airport buildings, hangars and surrounding townships as well, including the houses and pagodas and various other significant local landmarks as well. Full detailed resolution textures, a full reproduction of both the of people and local vehicles as well. Hand placed 3D trees to actually in line with the photoreal scenery. Full volumetric grass and a full reconstruction of the airport's lighting equipment as well. So looking absolutely spectacular in the night lighting as well. This one, and yeah, full cover off with customized 3D models for the airport and for the interactive vehicles as well. So looking pretty damn amazing. So this one's available from the xplane.org store, coming in at $20 or your regional equivalent, available now. In another X-Plane 11 scenery release, the guy over at the founder of iBlue Yonder, who's apparently only recently been introduced to the world of X-Plane, has come out with another, hot on the heels of his release of Heron's Nest. He's now converted over his first of his $100 hamburger series of sceneries, the Minuteman and Plum Island airports. He's actually now brought these over into the X-Plane 11 world as well. Now, at the moment, this only comes with a Windows installer, so not sure if it's coming out with Mac or Linux yet. Well, yeah, fully compatible with X-Plane 11, and these airports are just incredibly detailed. The guys, iBlue Yonder just do amazing work. They really do. And Heron's Nest is freeware, and to give you, so if you want to get any sample of what their work is like, grab Heron's Nest. You'll be blown away, and you'll be wanting to buy their stuff. Just saying. Really, just absolutely amazing airports, fully suitable, especially for those people who like to do low and slow GA flights. And as I said, it's part of the $100 hamburger series. So where it's all about actually doing these GA flights to airports in the surrounding regions. So it's pretty cool. Fully detailed, customized lighting for the region as well, with photoreals combined with photoreal scenery. Custom hand-placed autogen objects as well, so looking absolutely incredible. And this one's coming in at $20 from the iBlue Yonder website, available now. Alright, continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases this week. As I said, a lot of stuff came out for X-Plane this week. It really did. So the guys over at Aerosoft have brought over two of their sceneries over into the X-Plane world. So the first one we saw was Veroy. XP was brought across for compatibility with X-Plane 10 and 11. Now, this is a very detailed airport. Now, it's one that was very interesting for their prepared releases a little while ago. It's on the southern tip of the Lofton Archipelago in Norway, so it's a very remote airstrip. There's not a lot goes on there. There's a lot of scientific there and sort of local traffic. That's about it. This actually includes it's an airport and a heliport as well. Which is further down the island, as well as full, highly detailed rendition of the entire island is actually included in this package as well. So this includes custom terrain mesh, fully accurate custom terrain rendering as well, including photoreal, as well as a highly accurate 3D modeling of various island features, as well as the custom city and harbour models as well. So it's absolutely incredibly highly detailed in here. Full customized lighting effects just for the airports as well. including seasonal variations for the photoreal scenery that's included as well as customized night lighting effects as well. So looking pretty damn amazing. The prepared version and the FSX version was really, really good as well, and this one is looking just as good, if not better, in X-Plane as well. So this one's available, coming in at around about $15 US, either pick up from Aerosoft directly or from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. And the other Aerosoft scenery release this week, we saw them release Svalbard for X-Plane 11. So this is for X-Plane 11 only. So this is another one in another Norwegian archipelago. This time closer to the North Pole, so it's actually inside the northern polar circle. Now, what's actually makes interesting with this one here is the fact that it's more than just sort of like one or two airports here. You actually get the archipelago of the island, but you also get a whole heap of other scenery included as well, because one of the things, rightly or wrongly, about X-Plane is the fact that above a certain latitude, I believe it's 72 degrees north, it actually doesn't cover anything. It's just blank. It's not there. So rightly or wrongly, I think it's always been one of the drawbacks of X-Plane. It's one of the things I haven't liked about it. But this actually fills in huge swathes of that, of those sceneries. It actually included with this as well. So it's not just this, it's not just these islands. You get other stuff in there as well, which is really, really cool and exciting for this one. So definitely adds a lot more value to this package, because this package is rather expensive, but you do get the full archipelago of the Svalbard Islands is included with this, as I said, but the whole heap of other partial scenery is also included for the sort of 74 degrees to 81 degrees north latitudes as well in the polar circle. So really, really interesting, that one here. This actual terrain covers over 61,000 square kilometers. So, as I said, there's a lot of area for you to play in with this one. Full high detail resolution mesh, customized terrain mesh for this area, including customized and highly modeled 3D terrain models for the various airports in this area as well. Full photoreal scenery is included as well, with seasonal winter and summer effects are included, and fully compatible with world traffic plugins as well. So a lot of stuff going on in this, and really cool. It's interesting to see, to sort of giving that expansion as well. I said it's always been a bit of a drawback for me when I explain one of the things that sort of bugged me a bit. I know a lot of people don't fly in those sort of northern latitudes, but it was always bugged me that it just wasn't there in the sim. It just annoyed me anyway. But yes, as I said, so consequently this package is rather expensive. So we're looking at coming in around about just shy of $50 US, or just shy of 40 euros coming for this one. Now you can pick this one up, as I said, either direct from Aerosoft, or you can pick it up from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now for X-Plane 11. Alrighty, continuing on with more X-Plane 11, all X-Plane releases this week. Now this one is kind of interesting, kind of cool. Now, I'd heard about Thales OANS system, which is an onboard airport navigation system. Basically, it's a glorified GPS for an aeroplane, but not a GPS for, like, going from airport to airport, for GPS for navigating around an airport. So what taxiways to use and stuff like that. So you don't have to use your approach charts and stuff like that. You've actually got a live one that updates and gives you references and stuff as well. So this is the airport visual system from Flight Factor. Now, basically, what they've done is they've actually taken Thales' idea and sort of run with it, and sort of created their own one for use in X-Plane. So this is really, really interesting. Essentially, you can add this as like a pop-up window for any aircraft. And gives you a very interesting. It gives you it models all the functionality that OAN's system does, but it has custom enhancements as well for X-Plane. So you'll actually overlay other airport traffic that's being directed around the airport as well. So you can see all that visually in real time. It'll build the airport map from the X-Plane scenery, it looks like, as well as being able to give PDF formats as well. Fully compatible with all formats of the X-Plane 11 as well, so Windows, Mac, and Linux as well. So really, really interesting from here. Sort of, you can actually sort of generate charts and stuff from that as well from this application as well. So really interesting plugin. The pricing's I was in two minds about it. I thought the pricing was a little expensive, but the more I dug into it about what it's actually capable of, the price actually isn't that bad. Maybe not the full price. There's a discount. It's got an entry level price at the moment, which I actually think should be the normal price. So it's $20 at the moment. It will go up in a couple of weeks up to the full normal retail price of 25. So if you're going to get it, I probably would get it now, because I said this price point's about right for what I think it is. Anyway. As I said, this one's available now. The airport visual system from Flight Factor, available now from the explain.org store. Alrighty, right, that rounds out the X-Plane news. So moving on to the ESP platform world, and we're going to start by going to the sort of all of the ESP platforms. The guys over at Orbix have released a new airport. So this is the second release from Orbix by Matteo Venazzi, one of their very talented newer developers. So this is for Chester Airport. So this is in Chester, Connecticut. I've spent a bit of time in Connecticut over the last few years going to conferences there. It's a privately owned field, so it's not a public general aviation field. It's a privately owned field by Wheelan Aviation, sort of for flight training and for point-to-point hub stuff. So really interesting that it's all sort of air taxi and GA flights coming through here. Airport has the runway has a moderate slope, which is actually the guys at Orbix have modeled into this as well, which is really, really cool. Always exciting to see. I know X-Plane guys, you're used to seeing it all the time, but for ESP and FSX users, we're kind of always excited when we see a runway which has actually got a proper slope modeled onto it. Anyway, so it's very interesting as well. And the actual apron sits about 3 meters below the runway surface as well. So it's a really, really interesting choice of model airport here. So very much apply a custom terrain mesh for here. Going through really, really interesting here. Very highly detailed photo reels been used for here. Are fully compatible to work with FTX Global and North American OpenLC as well. As I said, the main thing that interests me, I think I'm getting the sense though that this is very much an experiment for the Orbix guys to actually sort of go through. Let's see how they some new. I think I've got this feeling that they're trialing a few new development techniques at the moment, and I think this is very much a bit of an experiment for them to actually see how that's going to work. And by doing it on an airport that's got very much not only a sloped runway, but a sloped runway apron, parking area on a different altitude from the actual runway. So definitely not your normal flat runways that you might be used to in FSX. So very interesting. Coming in pretty standard price for the Orbix guys, coming in at $25 or your original equivalent over at the Orbix OrbixDirect.com store, available now. Alrighty, moving into Prepared version 4 new release news this week. So 2 new products for Prepared version 4 this week. One update news. So this is the guys from Aerosoft. They've released their Hamburg Professional version of their Hamburg X, which has been out for a while. And so the Hamburg Professional version updates the layout of the airport to match as it did at the end of 2016. So overhauled they've overhauled the textures and the 3D modeling of all the buildings and all the runway textures. But of course, mostly they have overhauled the lighting system to make it fully compatible with Prepared version 4 and take advantage of all of the dynamic lighting and spill lighting that it actually has available for that. So really interesting that, and the fact that it does actually come through with a lot of the terrain, a lot of the weather effects, and actually sort of water effects and stuff like that on the runway as well. So really interesting for that one. Now this one's coming in. If you're a new user, you're looking around about $25 for this one. It's actually fairly reasonable price on these ones from these guys for these professional series airports. Or if you already have the Hamburg X for FSX and Prepared 1 through 3, you're looking at around about $7 or $8 upgrade price. Just make sure you upgrade it through the same store that you purchased your original one through. So yes, this one is available now, either direct from the Aerosoft website or available from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. In Aerosoft's other Prepared version 4 release this week, they released their long not long awaited, it sort of like ambushed a few of us actually sort of announced it, and then they sort of announced it was coming, and then suddenly it's released. So this is their Antonov AN2 for Prepared version 4. Now, I'm a little disappointed that they've only brought it out exclusive to Prepared version 4. I'm a little disappointed with that, because I think the Colt is a really fascinating airplane. Basically, it was designed as just an agriculture and like a crop duster is essentially what a utility / crop duster is what it's designed for. But it in like the 1950s, but it ended up being soldiering on and was produced in numbers all the way up until the early 2000s, and it's everywhere. Like this thing is, like, the AN2s just have appeared everywhere. They've been used everything from cargo aircraft to passengers to tourists to sightseeing aircraft to parachuting to their actual original intended role of being a crop duster. Like it's just so much stuff that they were used by the users. They were even impressed as bombers by like the North Koreans and the Chinese during the Korean conflict. Like this is how varied a career this aircraft has had. It's just absolutely insane. It's one of those things. It's like a Caribou, you just can't break them. They just keep going. You can't kill them. Anyway, so this is a highly detailed rendition of this aircraft. Well, but also aiming to still be FES friendly. Apparently, it has a service window, so it allows for various different features to be modified, and including and monitored, including all your fuel and oil and various electronic systems are all modeled, and their failures are modeled very, very well as well. Also includes with fully functional systems, inertial starter, electric surface floor flaps, trims, cowl flaps, with special custom modules, so they actually work outside of the prepared simulation platform limitations, which, by the way, is a really good idea, but also will put a bit of taxing on your system as well, just to remind that on your CPU. Just like experience with some other add-ons doing that. Highly dynamic and highly realistic flight model, and a very high definition virtual cockpit. Two versions of the cockpit are included, one with a Cyrillic and one in English as well. So there you go, very interesting as well. And and apparently a very, very important, they wanted to point out they have a physically correct tail wheel as well. Not quite sure what that means, but anyway, if you are wanting to pick this one up, this one's coming in at around about $30 or your regional equivalent, either direct from Aerosoft or from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. Alrighty, moving out of this and moving into a different simulator this time. So, the guys over at 1C Company have rebooted IL-2 Sturmovik Cliffs of Dover. So, Cliffs of Dover, when it came out a couple of years ago, kind of came out to a bit of a, let's just say the community like slated it. Like it was horrifically bad. They fixed it, but it took them a long time to fix it. The initial one was just slated horrifically bad. Anyway, long story short, basically the company's gone back to the drawing board, learned a few things from their other sort of projects, and gone, okay, what are we going to do about this? And they've come back, and they've now produced IL-2 Sturmovik Cliffs of Dover Blitz Edition. Now, basically what they've done is they've overhauled the physics and the graphic engines. Pretty much, actually, to be honest, it looks like from reading all the dev notes and the cliff notes here, they've pretty much gutted it, stripped it down, and rebuilt the sim from the ground up. So they're now using fully DX11 compatible graphics, with possibly, looks like possibly it might even support DX12 in the future as well. But yes, at the very least, DX11 compatible graphics. Brand new flight models for all of the aircraft. New aircraft. We got 47 flyable aircraft in here, plus 16 non-flyable aircraft in there as well. You've got, as I said, brand new flight models for all of the flyable aircraft, brand new damage models as well, fully designed and immersive and integrated control systems, interactive cockpits as well. So this is, they're basically pushing themselves as a genuine DCS alternative for people who are only interested in sort of Second World War fighters or aircraft, which is really interesting. And graphically, this thing is looking batshit insane. Like, it is looking nuts here. So yeah, that's very interesting. I also find it very interesting. They're very much in their sort of promotional pics. They've actually recreated. If anybody has ever seen I think it was 1970s, 1980s film, The Battle of Britain. Maybe it was the 1960s film, Battle of Britain. Go and watch it, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Michael Caine was starred in that one. Go and see it, by the way, if you haven't seen it. But they've very, very much grabbed a few scenes from that and replicated them in the sim, and it looks. Oh my god, it looks gorgeous. It looks incredibly gorgeous. It really does. So yes. What's really interesting as well, they've also massively reduced the price here. Like, they have slashed the price. For what you're getting, the content you're getting here, it's an absolute steal. Now, it's coming $25 US, available now on Steam, and it's got a launch special at the moment until the 5th of January at like less than $20. Yeah, look, as I said, I haven't flown it yet, but just it looks insane. And from a couple of people I've talked to that have flown it, they've said they have definitely learned their lesson from the last ones and gone through. But it is not necessarily for an arcade aviator, so you must be willing to put your time and effort into studying the controls. So yes, as I said, I think this is a genuine DCS competitor now. IL-2 really for me was a mixed bag for many years, but I think is a genuine DCS competitor now, especially if you're into World War II aviation. So yes, if you are interested, have a look at treating yourself for Christmas. Have a look at this one. This one's available now on Steam. Alright, for a complete change of pace now, we're going to go into a galaxy far, far away, but not that galaxy though. We are going out into space with a new, interesting little release from a solo developer, Paul Dvorosky. So this is called Orbital Racer. Now this is an interesting little title here. I have got a demo copy of it. I haven't had a chance to install it and play it yet, and I hope to get a chance to do it soon. But basically, this is a physics 6 degrees of freedom space simulator, the space racing simulator. So essentially, you get to zip around courses in 0G, like trying to basically think of like a race car but in space. It's really kind of an interesting idea. I'm imagining this is going to be kind of like Pod Racer but better, is what I'm thinking here. But yeah, it's very interesting. The visuals look fairly stunning, fairly cool, fairly interesting, and fairly different as well. It's just an interesting concept here. See how it is. The tagline though made me chuckle. In space, no one can hear you drift. That made me chuckle a lot. As I said, it's a bit of a combination between an action title where you can sort of just jump in and sort of go through there, but it also offers a fairly significant simulation layer underneath there as well, where you can actually sort of make it a more realistic, where you actually have to go through with Newtonian physics and actually balance thruster forces and things like that. So if you're looking for something like where you can zip around in space but actually still be true to physics, this could be an interesting one for you to do. It includes 24 tracks with 8 different locations with 3 different ship models, with a career mode, multiplayer, and just straight up instant racing gratification sort of modes as well. So really kind of interesting, fairly affordable as well, coming in at $15 with a launch special at the moment for $12 coming in. Orbital Racer available now on Steam. And wrapping up the NovaWrap for this week with the release of an interesting little VR title called Operation Apex. So this is a VR, a VR required, VR exclusive title, which is an interesting thing. So basically, this sort of puts you in the ocean, where you can actually sort of go and see, and it's more of a learning journey, where you get to sort of learn stuff and be engaged with your environment, as well as actually just getting to do some really cool stuff that VR can do. So actually swimming with fish, swimming with sharks. In the developers' own words, they really love sharks. So it's one of the things that they love doing. So yeah, it's really kind of interesting take on this. This has been done in conjunction with several oceanographic institutes as well. They're actually getting a lot of detailed stuff in here, and as well as in conjunction with Curioscope, which is a startup group about teaching, and about exposing people to science and cool new concepts through gaming and VR. So yeah, really interesting, kind of cool idea to be able to go through and actually swim through ocean. This is actually this is looking like what a couple of other recent diving simulators tried to be but didn't quite make it, but this is it. Very much a Unity based game though, from what I can tell, but it looks a lot more graphically better than some of the other Unity games I've seen out there. So yeah, kind of interesting. Possibly one of those things. It's definitely, as I said, it's a VR. It's a VR exclusive. So if you don't have a VR headset, this is not going to be for you. So unfortunately, I won't be getting it. But yeah, for those who have VR, this is one that you might want to consider looking at. It looks kind of cool, kind of interesting. But yes, this one's available now. Operation Apex on Steam for $20 or your original equivalent. Available now. Alrighty folks, that does now round up the NovaWrap for this week and for this year. So I do want to say thank you very much to all of you for tuning in at various times throughout the year and coming in and letting me come into your live stream, into your streaming existence, and give you all the latest release updates for the simulation world. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed producing it for you guys. It's definitely, we've had a lot of challenges on the way, and I've been very appreciative of all the patience that you have for me during a few just various personal dramas, and of course with my occasional sort of sporting antics as well. I very much appreciate your support through all of that as well. But yeah, I do want to say I am signing off for this year. I do have a couple of videos that I'm hopefully planning to release between now and the end of the year, but this is pretty much me signing off for this year. I'll be back bigger and better in next year. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all again, but I do want to say once again, thank you so much to each and every one of you for tuning in every week and for the support that you've given me in the comments and in just viewing me and just everything that you guys do. I do it for the community, I do it for you guys, and it's great to hear from you. So thanks you very much for tuning in, and thanks very much for your support throughout the year and all the years that I've been doing this, and I look forward to seeing you guys all more in next year for bigger and better things in 2018 and beyond. Alright folks, that's me, that's the NovaWrap done for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.